Hello. Welcome to the Monday morning live stream that no one's here for. Because it's that fun moment when I'm the only one here. I'm a few minutes late. My hair's not did up. The gym was out of towels. So I had to figure something else out. But I got to put my hair product in. This is my hair product that I use. I love this stuff. I got hooked on this stuff a while ago by a barber. Oh, it smells so good. Holds my hair great. It's expensive. It's hard to get. But man, that barber got me hooked on it. Now I can't seem to. I keep using it. So let's see. Can I get this thing off? Yeah. Anyway. So while waiting for people to get here, I thought today I'd talk about how I keep myself from emotional eating while I'm under stress. So I'm going to turn off the overheads. There we go. Oh, good morning. You haven't caught a live in a few weeks. Well, you're catching one now. So glad to have you here. Let's see. Let me get my buttons going. Get those hooked up. Well, if it's running. There's a power outage apparently since last I was here. Salud if you like coffee. All right. Let's see. Do my buttons work? Let's see. Don't forget to don't miss future streams by subscribing and liking. Hit the notification bell. Oh, that one works. And do my reactions work? And yes, my reactions work. I need to get more of those. Make it fun. So, good morning, y'all. You need this one today? Yeah, today's topic's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. Is this your first live catching it? Oh, well, I'm glad you're catching your first live. So, good morning, Brett. Let's see. Can I bring the chat up? Did I set that up? Yeah, here we go. Chat window. Huzzah. Well, that transition was terrible. Let's see. Let's try that transition again. Float away, chat window. Goodbye. And now float in. That's better. So, good morning, everyone. So good to see you. We are going to be talking about emotional eating. We're not going to read from the book. I mean, I'm sure I may dig into the book and pull out some things, but look, I can't get into it, but I can just say that I've had a lot of things going on in my life. Things that I, in the past, would have 100% not won with the emotional eating battle with. It would have been bad. I would have 100% lost. So I was just driving today thinking, like, what do I want to talk about in the live stream? And I was like, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about when I'm going through something live, I like to talk about my coping. But sometimes I avoid the harder parts of life because I do have a personal life, and I like to keep my personal life personal in some aspects of it. I don't mind sharing parts of my life, but I like keeping parts of my life private. But my thoughts, I actually don't mind sharing my thoughts. That's the interesting thing. I don't mind sharing my thoughts. I don't mind at all. But I've also just been having a lot of conversations with clients of various places from within the guild, from the inner circle, from the one-on-one sessions, even in comment sections. And maybe it's just because I'm attuned to it, because I'm noticing it so much in myself that maybe I'm just sensing it more in others. Like I'm I'm aware. It's sort of like when you buy a red car, or not a red car, but like you buy a vehicle and all of a sudden you see that vehicle everywhere. They're always there, but now your brain, like I have a Ford Explorer now. I got one last year. And once I got it, now I see Ford Explorers everywhere. I always notice them. When I drove a Toyota Tacoma, I noticed Tacomas everywhere. Now that I don't drive them, I don't really think about it, and I don't see them very often. But I remember I used to see them all the time. So it could be very much that phenomenon. That's from the reticular activating system in the mind doing its thing. That's what it does. It do what it do. But I'm aware of my own inner desire to return to old devices. So I thought I'd talk about it. But not yet. Not yet. We ain't getting there yet. I'm going to enjoy a nice cup of coffee. I'm going to put on my headphones. And I'm going to find us some fun music. And what I want everybody to do that's here, I want you to, not yet. I want you to be thinking about, what is your win? What's something you did last week that you're proud of? What did you do in the name of your goal? How did you progress forward? Hold on, I got to close a bunch of tabs. I don't need all these dang tabs open. Or not tabs, but just windows. I don't need all these open. There we go. We can hide you. We can hide you. We can hide you. We can hide you. Command H. It's become my new favorite command on a Mac. Command H. It just hides things. So, can I show you all my background? I have an ultra wide, so this is going to look kind of wide. Do I need to do this? Does this have anything to do with what we're going to do? No, not at all. I'm just looking at my desktop, and I thought, I want to share this. So let's see. We'll do screen share. Oh, where's my background? What? You're not going to show me my background? Well, that's too bad. I got this beautiful background that I took. But I can't show it to you. Thought I could, but I guess can't. All right, let's get some music. We need some good music because we got to talk about celebrations. I need a reason to use my buttons. All right, let's see. What kind of vibe do we want? Do we want funky? Do y'all want to help me pick the music? I think y'all should help me pick the music. Yeah. Let's do that. Y'all can help me pick it. Let's get into here because I can actually route the music through the live stream. And y'all can do it. Right, Carrie? What a background. Golly, that is just the most amazing black background ever in the history of black backgrounds. All right, let's see. We're going to go to stock media, audio, royalty-free music. Royalty-free music does not mean free. So, okay, let's do screen share. That would be this button. There we go. All right, let's see. What kind of vibe do we want? So we can pick a mood. Oh, and I need to set the audio routing to the live stream. Let's route that. Okay, good. We're routed to the live stream. So now, if I hit play, let's see, is that going to work? Yeah. Driving my car. What is this? What was that? That's funny. I don't know what that was. All right, help me. Let's come up with some Let's come up with some fun vibes. See, we're going to go with happy. We're going to go with playful. And for the genres, we're going to go with, I don't know, let's go with folk. Why not? Let's see what we get. Let's find some good celebration music. Oh, they got a longer version of this one? I didn't know that. Well, there's 3 different versions of this one. All right, hold on. I got to save that. I got to come back to this. Hold on. Add to folder. I guess we'll just add it there. Add it there. Add it there. All right, sorry. I got a little distracted by that. Little distracted. Let's try this one. How is there no bad bitch radio button? Right? There should be. That is not good celebration music. No. It's gentle. No. That's not celebration music we're looking for. All right, you know what? I'm not feeling folk. Folk's not hitting it. All right, Carrie, you said bad bitch. You know what? We're just going to type it in. Let's just see what we get. Bad bitch. Let's remove all of the other filters. Dark. That's the first one that shows up. Let's see. What do we get for that? That's very spooky. That does not sound like celebration music, though. That's not celebration music. What else we get? What else do we get? Bad to the bone. All right, you know what? We're just gonna we're taking too long. We're supposed to be getting to celebration. We're just gonna type in celebration. See what we get. All right, we're just gonna roll with this. We're just gonna roll with it. We're gonna roll with it. All right, everybody. Tell me over here in the chat window. I want you to tell me your win. I want you to tell me what you did in the name of your goal. How did you kick ass? How did you win? How did you celebrate? And what I'm going to do when I do it, I'm going to celebrate with you. And if you're really good, if you really impress me, do I have my, do I have one? Let's see. Yes. All right. So if you really impress me, I'm going to give you the air horn. The air horn of love, of celebration. So tell me, what'd you do this last 7 days? How did you go crush your goals? How'd you impress yourself? I know some of y'all, I was there with you. You did something pretty cool. Come on, come on, come on. You're making me wait too long. I gave you a chance to think about it. Tell me, what have you got? There it is. There's the first one. We had a bunch of people go to a Tough Mudder. It was a partay. Oh, that was dumb. I regret saying it as soon as I said it, but it was still fun. It's just because I got my partay button. All right, let's see what else we got. What else did we do? Who else did something impressive? Let's see, Ashley. For the last month, I've been eating like a trash panda, but still doing the gym and getting my steps at work. Managed to maintain my weight for the last month, and I'm pleased with that. Excellent. Excellent. Maggie, I've been super sick. And in the past, I would eat all kinds of high-reward foods, but this time I was mindful. I ate for my health and recovery instead. Nice. Good way to reframe that in your mind. Focus on something else. Oh, we got another one. Kate, I believe you were there too. Yeah, another big win. Doing a 15K Tough Mudder. I did one too. Look, they're no joke. Ripped off a callus, so that was fun. What else we got? Successfully got through an unexpected meal out. Left food behind and didn't eat till stuffed. All right, hold on. We got to get this song's about to end. Hold on. This song's about to end. We need to get our next song going. We're just going to go with the next one on the list. Let's see what we get. Nope. Nuh-uh. No, that's not right. Oh. Okay. We can work with this one. Yeah. I can work with this one. All right, another one. Tina, I believe you have something else, Tina. Don't make me out you publicly. Tell us all. What just happened to you recently? Tell me now. Tell me true. Oh, this one has words. We can't do words. Hold on. Words are going to throw everything off. There it is. We got an instrumental version. There we go. Bring the instrumental version in. Good job, Liz. Jennifer said no to food at work picnic on Friday. Excellent. Travel for work for 4 days and maintain my weight. That's what we call a big win. That's excellent. Maintenance is always a victory and always worthy of celebration. Yes, it is. Finally reached the 2 teens. Welcome. Almost there. Wonderland's around the corner then. Ran a couple of days to prep for my 5K, but aggravated my meniscus. That part's a bummer, but glad you're training and pushing. Remember, recovery's important. Focusing on eating and weightlifting now instead. That's right. Focus on what works. Got a non-scale victory. Got into a large. What? I love it when you make into a new size. I love it. Love it indeed. Let's see. What else we got? We'll come back to your advice later. We're doing celebrations right now. Celebrations. Climbed Mudderhorn without crying and did it mad. Going on a walk, listening to you. Hey, we'll take present wins. Let's see what else we got here. Come on, keep those wins coming. We got more music playing. Let's see. Ooh, we got a deep mindset work. Working on overcoming and dissolving ego. Found so many great topics to dig into, and it's deeply affecting my mindset journey. All right, let's see. There it is, Tina. There it is. Hold on. We got ourselves a winner. Somebody hit goal weight. So excited for you. So excited. That's such a great victory. Let's see. Frank resigned from my super safe job and went all in on the terror barrier. I salute anybody that quits a safe job to go off into the scary unknown. Best decision I ever made. Let's see what else we got. What else? We got a little more. This song's still going. It's almost over. Still time. Caitlin participated in Nashville Tough Mudder with other guildies. I love it. All right. We'll stop there with the victories. Thanks for sharing your victories in the comments sections down below. Or, well, they're not actually down below. I have no idea where it is. If you're watching a replay, it's down below. But if you're here live, it is Right there. Great job, everybody. Wait, whoa, Bree. Hold the phones, hold the presses. Wait a minute. Wait a damn minute. Hold on. That one snuck in right under the radar. We gotta celebrate one more. We gotta celebrate one more. Bree, while I'm getting you ready to get you up on here to celebrate you, I need you to put another comment. Tell the good people, you too, Tina. Tell the good people how much weight you lost. And now we're how many months? Let the good people know. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. We already had one other person do it, but now we got one more. Bree, hitting goal weight. Goal weight. Congratulations. Congratulations on hitting your goal weight. Now you and Tina both tell me how many pounds did you lose and over how many months? Go ahead and tell me. Tell me now. Tell me true in the comments over here. Let's bring them up. Tina, you too. I want everybody to see it. You worked hard for it. Go ahead and tell us all. Where's my chat window? Come back, chat window. That's not a chat window. That's the chat window right there. Okay. Great job. 95 pounds, Tina. 95 pounds. How many months? How many months was that? Bree, you too. Let us know. Let us know. You know, hitting goal weight's fun. Anticlimactic, weirdly, but also pretty awesome at the same time. But you realize you're just ending one journey and beginning the next one. That's what you're doing. Like I remember that feeling. I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, now what? I mean, this problem wasn't supposed to ever get solved. And I just done went and did it. Now what? Now what? But I'll tell you what, those last 20 pounds, they suck. They're tough. You got to just get in it. You got to get in it. And it's so tempting to get like antsy and like just bail on the journey and you know, but no, you just get it done. Just get it done. Ah, so good, everybody. All right. So let's move to the topic at hand, because I got a little girl whose computer's not working well and she's got homeschool testing and I need to go help her get that fixed. I promised her I would. I told her, do not worry. I will make sure I'm there to make sure that gets taken care of. So we will not be going long. If anything, we're going to wrap up a little early so I can put her nerves at rest for that. You know, as I said in the preamble to today, online comment section, go away. We don't need you for this part. I mean, y'all can see each other in the comments. Oh, Karen, why are the last 20 so hard? It's because you got no damn wiggle room. You got no wiggle room. Like in the beginning, you got a bunch of wiggle room. You can sort of like half-ass a bunch of stuff and still get some weight loss and tell yourself you're doing great. Trust me, I loved that phase. That was a great phase. Enjoy that phase while you're there. At the end of the journey, no, you don't get that luxury. You can't just half-ass do things. Tell yourself you're doing great and then expect it to work, because you'll just maintain your weight. No wiggle room, none whatsoever. But as I was saying, moving to the topic of today. Topic is how I keep myself from emotional eating even when I'm stressed. So as I said, I'm got things in my life, and when the things are irrelevant, because we all got things. Everybody's got things. A life free of problems is a life that's either you have no humans in your life, which is a problem, or you're dead. Like, there's no such thing as a life free of problems. You might not have problems right now, but you're going to have problems later. I guarantee it. It's just wait. That's what life does. And problems are okay. It just usually means that something needs your attention, but problems can be stressful. And hi, my name is Chris Terrell, and I'm an emotional leader in recovery. I spent a good chunk of my life from the time I was a kid to 30-something. It's not really a hard line where I became like emotional eating sober. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. But I solved my problems with numbing, distraction, TV shows, movies, video games, food, anything but dealing with the problems. You know, I didn't want to deal with problems in the past. I didn't want to face them. What if I made it worse? So I on my journey, began with my dad dying, as many of you know, and I had to figure out how to handle stress different. But now, fast forward many years later, over half a decade later, I don't really feel that stress anymore from him dying. Oh, hold on. I have a guest. 1 second. Oh, here, let me give you some hold music. I'll be right back. Let me find the right hold music. I don't know if this is the right one, but it's the one you're getting. BRB. Well, it's my office. All right, scoot on over. We have a special guest in town. Unexpected. So you say hello to Misty. Say hello, Misty.
Hello.
I mean, there's no one talking to us. You can't hear them. I mean, they're right there. You can see them in the chat window. Oh, wow. You are just right. There we go. All right. We turn off that whole music. All right. So, there's no music? Why was there no music? There should have been music. So I was just queuing them up. I'm going to talk about how I don't emotionally eat when I'm stressed. So if you have any things that you do about that, you can share too if something comes to mind. I don't need headphones anymore right now. That was when I was doing music. So I used to turn to food for like everything. Like, I think every activity had food paired with it. Was it that way for you too?
For sure.
Yeah. So actually, see, what if I do that? No. I'll just have to turn it. But one of the things I do to not emotionally eat is journaling. Like, it came in my bag right there. Thank you. So I have my little man purse here. I think I showed y'all this last week, but I keep.
You could just cut it and call it a merce.
I could call it a merce. I keep 3 journals in my bag. And let me tell you, when I'm stressed, these journals get a lot of mileage. Like, I might go a month, 2 months when life is good and just not journal that much. That is not unusual. Well, not handwriting journaling. But when I am not doing good, I am writing in that thing like crazy. Writing in like crazy. What do you do when you're stressed? I'm going to put you on the spot.
I kind of go into like a music place because I journal, but maybe not as much as others. Sometimes I'm afraid of what I just think about it. Like, I don't want to really get at the issue. I'd rather task avoidance. So I would be in music more than journaling.
Is that what you do these days?
Yeah. Music mostly, but journaling a little.
Music is another one. I'm a big music fan. So I have a bunch of playlists I turn to. What do you do? I
have playlists.
Yeah.
It'll be like running from my feelings. And I'm really obvious about it. Running from my feelings is one. I'm angry, but like, people will know around me the mood I'm in when I'm listening to it. Because Carl will be like, Misty's upset. She's got like Disturbed or something metally playing. Or if I'm listening to something more mellow, Carl knows. Like, I'm missing my family when I'm playing like 1950s nostalgia kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So I just mood match. But it is also opposite is true. I can manipulate my feelings too by, like, if I want to feel angry, I can listen to this kind of music that triggers me to feel angry.
Yeah. So I do the music too. I'll do it, like we said, I'll do it to mood match. I like that. That's a good way to say that. But also to redirect, like, okay, what I'll do is, let's say I'm like angry. I'll find music that matches it. And then I will slowly shift the vibe of the music to a calmer state and kind of bring myself down a little bit. That really helps. So yeah, big on music. I like to sing, so I'll even sing with music too, because that, when you're singing, it tends to kind of trigger emotions. But you see, the thing is, all that does is get you a reprieve from the intensity, I've realized. Like, the really big, intense stuff in life. There's another technique, and I'm doing it a lot lately, because I became aware of it 2 years ago that I was doing this. But it's one of those, like, you can't practice this technique until you have a reason to practice it. And so I tend to intellectualize my feelings, where I will cognitively try to think through them, give them labels and figure out the connections and psychoanalyze, like, because I just find the human mind fascinating and all of that. But I realize that when I'm doing that, I'm not actually feeling. So I became aware of this a couple years ago. And so I started intentionally doing a different kind of thing. I mean, I'm not going to ask myself not to do it because actually cognitively reframing is actually really helpful. But some emotions just need to be expressed and felt. And so what I do now is feeling without naming. I literally just sit and just feel whatever it is. And I let whatever it's like, I'll just lay there and just let whatever happens happen. Like whatever feeling happens. But the biggest thing is I have to tell myself is no action, no doing, no writing, no calling, no walking, no recording, no talking about it. Like I have to do everything possible to keep my conscious mind from engaging in the process of emoting and just let myself express whatever I need to express. So if I'm really sad, then I need to just lay there and be sad. If I'm really mad, I need to just lay there and be mad. Really, really helpful. Sometimes I will do that when I'm running or driving or something. Like I'll go on a drive and just process. I have a bike. I'll ride my bike and do the same thing. But I find some of the best stuff is just sitting and just feeling, not psychoanalyzing, not. And when the interesting thing is, like, I've discovered when I started doing that personally, the extremely intense emotions are really hard to do that with because I find I don't want to keep doing them. Like I actually want to, I want to interrupt it and solve it, work the problem, take some sort of action, or if this emotion's too painful, let me downgrade it and kind of simmer it down versus just letting it completely bubble up. So that's one. And I've been doing that a lot lately. And the other part I've realized with that is I prefer to do it of completely clear mind. So no hunger. I don't want to be like, so I need to eat enough that like I'm not hungry. So like just have a meal, right? I don't need to lie. It's not emotional eating. It's just make sure I'm not hungry because that's distracting. I need to not have any problems with my body that are distracting me. So like if something's hurting, I need to tend to that, make that go away, which might just like maybe take some ibuprofen or something. And then also just make sure, like for me, not with my Ritalin in my system because that makes my head buzz. So just totally clear-minded in every possible way. No alcohol, no substances, nothing. Can you get the door? And that really makes a big difference, I've discovered. Just feeling the feeling and letting that happen. Is that something you've ever tried, Misty?
Yeah, I like to try to hear my, like, can you hear, I like to lay in bed and like try to see if I can hear my body noises. Like, obviously your ears have to be able to hear on the inside too. So it's kind of like if a tree falls in the woods, do you hear a sound? That like Zen kind of question. That's mine. Like, can I feel, because I can usually feel my heartbeat with my hand on my belly, but like, can I hear it?
Yes. Yeah, so sensing your body. With meditation, that's good. The other thing that happens that I know many of you will experience is, wait, what are you saying in there? Someone passed away? Oh, that's talking about something else. Okay. So in this book, remember in books they hide the secrets at the back because nobody makes it that far. So on literally what is this, like the last 5 pages, one of the things that happens for me when I'm wanting to emotionally eat, I'm curious if you still have it. You still have the urge, right? Like it shows up.
I've tried it.
No, but like the mind says, do it, right? And I years ago used to wish that the urge would go away. Like it just would never show up ever again. And it definitely shows up less often. And when it does show up, it is often not super intense. But it still shows up, and sometimes it still shows up every bit as intense as it used to. Does that still happen to you?
Oh, for sure, for sure. And it's like a conscious thought where I'll think of, it'll be, I can try to talk myself out of it. I want to do it. Like I can't control the situation. I'm feeling, usually it's overwhelmed. I feel really overwhelmed. What's the one thing I could do to make the situation worse, honestly? But it just comes in. And then I'm like, I know this doesn't feel good. I've tried it. Even recently, I've tried to like just balls to the wall. I'm going to do it no matter what. and it's not effective. So I know that, but I don't know why it's still I honestly don't even know why it comes back still, because I know it doesn't work. I know I'm not going to feel better in it. I've tried it and I can't reason it away. It just stays.
Yeah. So for a while, I was a little disappointed that the urge to eat to solve my problems with food was not going away. But here, this book really helped me this last part. I'm just going to read this. It says, the last type of acceptance is to accept the urge to binge or emotionally eat. This may seem a bit confusing since the whole point of what you're trying to do is to stop emotional eating, which should mean not accepting it. So, to be clear, acceptance of the urge does not mean accepting the behavior that you're trying to change. It means accepting any impulse you may have to engage in it. Your instinct may be to resist even having the impulse to try to prevent it from taking up residence in your mind. But that's not where the problem lies. The problem is acting on it, not thinking of it. When you have an urge, the idea is already in your mind, and the more you resist it, the more it becomes firmly entrenched there. Unwanted thoughts have a way of fighting back when you attack them. But the urge itself is harmless as long as it doesn't become so fixed in your mind that you can get rid of it only by acting on it. That's a really important line. The urge itself is harmless as long as it doesn't become so fixed in your mind that you can get rid of it only by acting on it. That fixation only happens when it's resisting your effort to get rid of it, and it fights back until you're so engaged in the struggle that you've already lost it. Recall what I said in Key 2 about psychological reactance. We talked about that last week. Go check out last week's live stream if you missed it. Resistance is a natural response to control. Resistance is a natural response to control. The more you try to control your thoughts, the stronger the urge will be to hold on to them. So what should you do instead? If you've ever gone swimming in the ocean, you've probably been warned what to do if you get caught in a riptide. Never try to swim against it. Instead, the recommendation is to float or swim with the current and focus on keeping your head above water until the current has weakened and you're able to swim through it. Of course, your goal is to end up safely back on land, but the most dangerous thing you could do is fight the current and swim directly to shore. And that's what I realized with the urge to emotionally eat. When I get mad at myself for wanting to do it, it makes me want to do it more. It makes the urge and the desire to do it grow stronger. When I say, no, I shouldn't feel this way. No, this is bad to feel this way. I'm just fueling it. I'm giving it energy, which makes me want to do it way more. And so that's where I found like that sitting and feeling. Part of that sitting and feeling is just noticing, I want to eat. I want to. And this is where I'll journal. I have a food noise journal on my phone where I'll pull it up and I'll just type it out. And I just say, I'm just going to write what I'm feeling here. No resistance. In fact, I'll say, all right, self, fully describe what you're feeling. Describe where it feels in your body. Describe what food I want to eat. And in my mind, I used to think leaning into it and saying, body, tell me everything you're wanting, that it would make me want to do it more. But I realized letting it just happen, that urge just exist, it just goes away. Versus when the urge shows up and I'm like, no, I shouldn't be feeling this. I'm feeling this way and I don't want to feel it. That, I'm telling you, it makes it worse. And so that's something that I've been doing a lot lately, is just noticing the urge to eat and then just sitting with it, not fighting it.
Have you ever been able to have food in a binge, like where it's like you're going to emotionally eat? Have you ever been able to have like a snack and not? I don't think I have never been able. I don't think I've ever. I'm trying to think ever. I have never been able to eat in those moments and it not be a binge. Like I wonder if it could be, if that's a possibility in the realm of things. Just to
so I can think of one instance, only one, where I consciously chose to emotionally eat, and I actually called it out loud. I was in the bedroom, something was happening. I went into my snack drawer and I grabbed out a 70-calorie fiber brownie, and I held it up and said, I'm going to emotionally eat this while I sit and think about my problems. And I sat down on my workout bench in the room, and I unwrapped it, and I just sat there and I ate it, and I thought about what I was going to do while I ate it. And I'm like, I know I'm doing this. I don't care. And I just ate it, and I'm like, okay, now go do what you're going to go do, right? That's the only time I can think of where I consciously chose to do it. But there was something about saying, I know I'm doing this, and I don't care, but I'm going to think about my problems while I do it.
Would your previous habit have been to have more than just the one, or would it have just been the one? So I guess that is the win then, because I wouldn't like, even when I was like intentionally I'm going to overeat, in not even that I was thinking I wanted to, just I was hurting in a way that it would not go away. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to try this. This has always worked before. Like, I'm willing, maybe that's the fuel. There was no real fuel for binging at the time, but I was like, I'm going to fuel this with emotional eating. That's fixed everything. And I'm like I was trying to get it to fix it, and it wouldn't. And it was like such a bummer that that didn't fix it. But I was wondering if you could stop a binge in that. Like,
Well, for me now, I think of emotional eating as really two. I mean, there's a few things, but there's two activities. I think of it as I'm eating food and I know I'm not hungry. I don't need it. Like, this is completely frivolous eating. But then I look at it, there's that, and then there's volume. Like, I'm eating too much. Like, a 70-calorie fiber brownie is not going to like mess up anything. Like, even if I didn't need it, it's 70 calories. It's got fiber in it, so it's going to have a lower blood sugar spike. And it's 70 calories. It's just not that much. And I'm also pretty good at listening to my hunger. So if I ate it later in the day, I'm probably going to compensate. But what I've realized is the volume side. Like, okay, I had some food, but now I want to engage in overindulgence. That I don't know that I would ever let myself do anymore. Like, I let myself choose to eat something knowing I wasn't hungry. But when I really think on the volume thing, I mean, I've been at the doorstep. I've thought of it over the years many times where I'm like, I just want to just go to town on something. And it's not that I think there's anything wrong. Like, we just did that Tough Mudder and I ate a whole pizza. It's a 12-inch pizza.
Everybody was commenting on that.
But also, to be clear, I ate virtually nothing the rest of the night. So calorically, it actually wasn't much different than what I normally ate. It was just basically mostly carbs. But I went and burned it off the next day, right? So, but I still wasn't overly full. Like, I was just pleasantly full. I was like, okay, I definitely just ate a 12-inch pizza. But that was what I was going for because I was fueling for the work for the Tough Mudder event the next day. But if I were binging, I would have ordered that. I would have had an appetizer. I would have gotten a dessert, and I would have kept eating throughout the evening. I mean, I would have just basically, I would eat until I couldn't eat anymore. And then once that overfull feeling went down, I would just eat more, get too full, stop, let it go down, eat more. I mean, I would just keep shoveling food in until I got sick and went to bed. I mean, that's how I used to do it. I don't know how others would do it. I mean, I've heard lots of different people's stories, but mine would, I didn't like to eat to the point I wanted to throw up, but sometimes I would. But I would try to stop before that point and just let it settle down. But of course, I would have to think of something to settle it down. So I would go to like a movie or a TV show, something where I could just sort of try to get my mind out of my own body because of how uncomfortable it was in my own body. So the overindulgence in volume, I think of that is my personal metaphorical equivalent of a drop of alcohol. Like, where, an alcoholic's like, I will not have one drop of alcohol for any reason. For me, overindulging in volume, and I, in my mind, healthy has nothing to do with it. I don't think, oh, it's better because it was healthy. I'm like, that's like a drunk saying, well, it wasn't Jack Daniels, it was beer.
Right.
It's only 7% alcohol instead of 4. In my mind, I'm like, that's no difference. It's just justification and junkie logic. So I look at it as, it doesn't matter. So yes, I think saying it was healthy is junkie logic. In my mind, it is just purely about volume. If I'm overindulging in volume, even if it fits in my calories, I just took a drink of alcohol, and I've crossed a line, and I need to look at that. And now for me, I actually don't remember. It's been so many years now. I cannot remember the last time I just gorged myself on volume. Outside of Thanksgiving several years ago, but that was a choice. But I felt so terrible that I didn't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, I think I tried when my dad died. I was like, I'm just going to try this over. I'm going to try, and I think that is a good line to validate that it's like volume versus the actual over emotional eating. Because I think when I didn't think I was an emotional eater. I didn't use that as a coping mechanism because I didn't like have crying and ice cream. Like, I don't know why I thought that if I'm a girl, crying and ice cream is emotional eating and that's the only compartment it fits in. So I was kind of shocked by that, I eat when I'm overwhelmed, I eat when I'm tired, I eat when I'm bored. But I really didn't think I was an emotional eater because of those categories. But binging is like a whole different dynamic. But before that, when I've had stressful situations in maintenance anyway, I don't go to emotional eating ever. Like it's just not something I really think about. I don't like the feeling of it, but I would almost crave the feeling before. Like I would want to have that like stretched out belly, and maybe it's like the linkage of it being satisfied. Like maybe there's this like underlying kind of issue of, are you satisfied when you eat? Well, I'm not. I'm not. And then okay, I am satisfied. I should be okay. But I don't think I don't know when the last time I actually had an emotional binging episode was, except that intentional one.
Yeah, and so for me with the binge, like the eating the volume, I mean, my motives, there were a few of them. Again, it's been years since I've done it, but the urge comes back. And so now when the urge comes back, it's not frequent. So when it shows up, it's very noticeable because it's like, where did this voice come from? Right? Like I'm not used to having these thoughts in my head. But one of them, the biggest one is it's more of this just fuck all to the rules.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, I'm trying to take care of myself. I'm trying to do everything right. I'm trying to be this, I'm trying to be that. And yet it's still not working and everything's going wrong anyway. So it's almost like this, why am I even trying?
Right.
Like, why am I even trying? Because in my head, I'm like, why am I taking care of myself? Why am I doing this with my body? I just want to have this food. And I don't care if people think bad about me. It's almost like, I've really come to see it is that defiant energy of just like, I'm so frustrated at something. I'm just going to take it out here. And for me, my voice, because of what I do for a living, I mean, my voice is almost like, even just fuck it to everybody watching. And it's a really, really unpleasant line of thought, but I have to respond to it compassionately every time. That's the other thing is I realize if I try to shame that side of me or try to make that side of me feel guilty, it just makes it worse. It makes the urge to act out 10 times worse. And it's something I do now with when I'm working with somebody through emotional eating, we're trying to unpack it, is we take an extremely neutral position of like, there's no judgment. So much so to the point when we're talking about it, I tell the person if we're talking about it, like, I'm going to interrupt you anytime you use any language that is even a little bit judgy of like, I did the right thing. Nope, can't say right. I did the wrong thing. Nope, can't say wrong. I was bad. Can't say bad. I was good. Can't say good. Like, you got to find a way to talk about it and strip every bit of judgment and purely talk about it as cause and effect. Because again, even if you're judging like, oh, I'm doing the right thing by doing this, it's like, nope, that makes it worse. Because the whole concept of the emotional eating is I'm looking for a rule to break that has no social consequences. And
were you surprised when, or were you surprised like your expectation is if I'm working hard, because when you're first starting a diet, it's like that motivational, everything is like 10 out of 10. It's not perfect. Everything's great and you feel good about it. But then life, you're doing all the right things and it's working, your scale's going down, everything's like blissful, but then life still exists in that. It's like this expectation that when I'm on point with dieting or I'm on point with my healthy new life, this other part of life isn't going to exist. Like I almost expect that if I'm going to be unhappy, well then this doesn't deserve this kind of attention either. I just set my expectation to fail right away.
So it's almost like if I can't have what I want, I might as well have this anyway.
Right.
Yeah. So the other part I've realized with this is within me, and I believe this is the case with everybody, there's a threshold where it's like if my stress and internal dissatisfaction reaches that threshold, I'm going to begin acting out. And whatever my preferred ways of acting out are. So that's the other thing I've realized. If I reach a certain level of stress, that's when the urges to emotionally eat come back. And it's why it's so important for me to like keep my stress at a reasonable level. Now, of course, when the stress shows up, sometimes I am at that level and the food noise shows up. I have to, something I told myself is I'm losing weight, but I'm never telling myself the word no. The only no never is saying no. Otherwise, I have to come up with some way to get myself not to get something without telling myself no. Because if I tell myself no, it just makes me want to do it more. That's the whole point. It's I'm seeking to defy something. And this is why, again, I have to get more to a state of neutrality with it in my mind. And so it'll be like, okay, I want to eat this. Great, you can have it. But first, go on a 20-minute walk. If you still want to have it after that, go ahead. And I started doing that early on, and I was really surprised at how often I would go on that 20-minute walk and then I didn't want to do it. Or I would say, sit down, journal for 10 minutes. If you still want to do it, go ahead. Or, hey, sit down, watch a movie for an hour. If you still want to have food when the movie's over or the TV show's over, go ahead. And sometimes I would stack it, like go on the 20-minute walk. Oh, I still want to do it. Well, you know what? You needed to do a little work on something. Go work on it for 20 minutes. And if you still want to have the food, go ahead and do it. Oh, you still want to do that? Okay, hey, tell you what, go do this for 10 minutes. And if you still want to do it, go ahead. And sometimes I would punt it 3 or 4 times. And then, of course, the urge would now have dissipated. But I never told myself no. I was always yes. And then sometimes you'd be like, well, why don't you go to bed? If you want to have the food tomorrow, have it tomorrow. It works so well, but I have to have the frame of mind in the moment to tell myself to do that. Yeah, to get myself to pause, reflect, and then go, okay, how do I want to proceed handling this moving forward? Which is really, really important. But this is also, I guess, really where the journaling come in, because like I had to listen to the voice. I don't believe in self-sabotage as a concept. I think we use it as a word because it doesn't make sense. It's like I cannot self-sabotage because if I did it, that means I wanted it. It's more of I can just want 2 conflicting things at the same time and one side won. That's not self-sabotage, that's conflict.
It's a strong autopilot.
Right. And so I realized the answer is not to stop self-sabotage. The answer is to sit down with both sides of me and say, what do you want? What do you want? What do you both want? What do you both not want? And let's move towards the things we both want. But this, the side of me that wants to emotionally eat, I used to judge it. I used to think so badly of it. I used to be so mad that I even thought it. And again, it's I realized like guilt and shame makes it worse. Like I think the emotion of shame is an abhorrent emotion, and I think we should find every way possible to root it out of society because I don't think it serves any benefit. Remorse, yes. Guilt, yes, but not shame. And, because I was raised, to feel shame just from my own thoughts. And so I grew up, like if I thought a thought, it was not only socially acceptable, it was the morally right thing to do according to God to feel ashamed for this. Is it that way for everybody in every religion? I don't think so. But for me, it was. But other people, they get shamed for other reasons. And I realized a lot of adults realized shame is a powerful way to convince people to do things. And they use it. And then we internalize it inside. But I used to feel so much shame at the eating that I would do. And that's where I realized it has to be complete compassion and understanding, which I was honest with myself eventually that all I've ever really wanted in life was for somebody to completely accept me as I am and not say you need to change. But I realized it didn't matter if anybody gave me that because I was really only looking for it from one person,
right.
Me.
Right.
And until I gave it to myself, no one else was going to be able to solve it. I could have the entire world tell me I don't need to feel ashamed for wanting to emotionally eat, but it wouldn't matter because I would feel shame. It wouldn't wipe out my shame. It might momentarily, sure, I could have somebody saying, you don't need to feel bad, you're doing this, everything's okay. And in that moment, I'm feeling good. But if my shame is there, it'll just come back. And that was the hard part, to stop to look at an empty tub of peanut butter the next day and choose to not feel bad about it. And yet still say, this wasn't okay and I shouldn't do it again. But I'm not going to say you were bad for doing it. You're something wrong with you. You're broken. Like I realized kicking myself when I was down only made me want to do it more the next day. I don't know. Is this hitting anything with you?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. I think if I have a way that I expect it to be, it's just another way to say you're lesser. And anytime in my whole life, anytime somebody would say something that I had shame about, like, my husband was pretty good at it. He would just say, well, why can't you do this like everyone else? Because I'm neurospicy, so I can't do it like everyone else. And it would just validate what I thought about myself and kind of trigger that, like, why am I not like everyone else? It was like but then my response wouldn't be to be like everyone else. My response would be like, F all of you. And I would be mad about it. Like it would change the dynamic to how I felt about it, to not be conducive for any kind of ultimate change with me, change with us. It was like I would kick against anything that would validate what I already thought to be true about myself. So if you want to say something about me being late all the time, I'm like, I know I'm lazy. I'm late to everything. And then I would just be so mad that somebody would have the audacity to tell me I'm late because it just validated my own really bad self-worth because I just lived in this constant, like, how I'm not good enough. I had to measure up, this like shameful space. It's hard.
So this in this book, one of the few books I think everybody should study. I don't remember exactly where this section is, but it talks about essentially, there's like the concept of imposter syndrome, right? We're like, oh, I'm not good enough. And, or like, I think shame, because I realized that shame says I'm bad because I did something's wrong with me, right? But I've had to start realizing that there's no such thing as an ideal person,
right,
and an ideal way to be. Like, so we both have ADHD. In many ways, I really don't like having ADHD. But there's other parts of my life that I realize my ADHD is my superpower. It gives me an unfair advantage over somebody else that is not ADHD. But let's say somebody that doesn't have it in a different environment, they have an unfair advantage. And so I started realizing that everything cuts both ways. So every weakness is simultaneously a strength, and every strength is simultaneously a weakness. And it's about learning how to get them into the right place. And part of that's where I realize it's like, I don't need to judge myself for eating the food, but I can judge the behavior and say the behavior didn't help me get where I want to go. Like, I can look at it that way, but not saying because I engaged in the behavior, therefore I'm worth less. I'm not as good. I'm not as strong. This means something. I mean, I think every behavior makes sense in the moment. That doesn't justify it. That doesn't excuse it. Like, just because I can look at myself and we'll use the empty tub of peanut butter story. Like, just because I can completely understand why I did it, and it makes total sense. And if I were to rewind the clock, knowing exactly what I knew in the moment, with exactly the mental state I was in exactly those conditions, the reality is I would do it again. That's the other part I've had to realize. Like, if I could rewind the clock of my life, but I don't get to carry back in time what I know now, I would live the exact same life I lived. I would make the exact same choices. And that was a little bit hard to wrap my head around at first. But once I started to do that, it made it easier to let myself off the hook. Because I'm like, okay, I understand that you did it. Doesn't mean we're going to do it again. But I get it, right? It's a logical thing. And so many parts of life, especially like with emotional eating, I find we don't want to do that because there's so much guilt and shame that we bring to it. Or this powerlessness feeling of like, oh, this means I'm weak, which I think is just another part of shame. And because it's just judging of ourselves. And something that helped me, we'll wrap up here because I got to go. But the number one thing that helped me with my emotional eating is to realize that everything I need has to come from me. Every bit of love, if I'm getting my love cup filled by others, then I'm not self-sufficient. If I'm getting my praise cup filled by others, I'm not sufficient. If I'm not getting my compassion cup filled by myself and it's getting filled by others, then I'm not self-sufficient. I realized the answer is I have to be self-sufficient. I have to be able to self-manage my internal state. Otherwise, I'm just leeching all of this off of everybody around me. And I'm not actually giving, I become a taker. Now, it was easy to justify this, and this is so common with emotional leaders. There's so many appeasers, people that are people pleasers. People pleasing is a major part. Like, have you noticed that people that are overweight, like chronically overweight, there tends to be a common thread of being a chronic people pleaser? Hey, if you're a people pleaser, put a 1 in the chat. And if it's been a debilitating problem in life, put a 2 in the chat. But like, that correlation is so high, and he talks about it in here. It's like if you're a people pleaser, if somebody comes and asks you for something, it doesn't feel like a request. It feels like a you have to do it, a command. And if you don't do it, you're actually committing some sort of moral sin, it almost feels like, even though it's not true. But realizing that, like, it's okay to be me, whomever I am, because whatever I am, there are strengths in it. Like, now I can look and see, like, if I hadn't have gone through everything I went through with my emotional eating, I wouldn't be here talking about it with everybody. I wouldn't be able to help others do it. Like, that's a benefit. It served people because now I can talk about it, because I didn't get to listen to people talking about the stuff we're talking about right now. I never heard conversations like this. This would have been a completely foreign conversation to me. But it's only because, you and I and others, like we're talking about our lived experience. That's good. That helps people. So anyway, all right, we're going to wrap up here because I got to go help Scarlett. So, hey, if you, thanks for stopping by, Misty.
Always.
If you like this, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and everything, you'll get notified every time we go live. And those of you in the guild, see y'all this week. Got a bunch of meetings. Be sure to check your guild calendar. And those of you that are in the guild, the inner circle is open. I'm going to do another post about it. So if you're interested in joining the inner circle and you're a guild member, keep an eye out for that. Doors have not opened since December of last year. So they don't open often. All right. Talk to y'all later.